Welcome to North Star. I'm so excited to have you join me today. Let's get rolling, huh? So in this section, we're going to be talking about the foundations of your business. Where are you going? Why? How are you going to get there? Who are you going to serve? How? A lot of questions, I know, but trust me, it's going to be really important to get this part of the foundation of your business right, because it's going to make all of the decision making down the road a lot more easy, and also going to allow us to employ the principles of 80-20. So the 80-20 rule means that 20% of your actions are going to get you the 80% of the work. I don't want you doing the 80% of the work that's going to get you the 20% of the results till you have to, because our goal here is, of course, to get you where you're going as fast as we can, but do it in the right way. Do it in a sustainable way. So let's do that. North Star is all about setting your objective so we can know how to get there and never go astray. So in this section, we're going to be talking about your vision that's unique to you. Goal setting, how to be setting your goals, how to select who you're going to serve. We're going to look at what your competitors are doing and how you can exploit any weaknesses or learn from what is working. We'll also talk about why you need an avatar. Now, this is not a blue avatar, but this is more of an ideal client. And that's going to help you know what to say, how to speak to these people, what it is they're looking for, so we can be sure that your message resonates, because we're trying to get you to sell on value, right? We're not in this race to the bottom on pricing. We're not all about getting a middleman to do the selling for you. We're about positioning you as the best drone pilot in your area, serving your niche at the highest level, and attracting, of course, these avatars, your ideal clients. I want you to have your phone ringing or text messages buzzing with people who are ready to book you, to pay you what you're worth, and make your job easy so you can get out there and be in your genius zone, which is flying. We'll talk about creating service packages and even go over some sample packages. Now, let's talk about what your vision is. We are going to have some homework in this section, so brace yourself. We're going to start with, this is a process for you as a drone pilot entrepreneur to choose your best niche based on your skills, your interests, your income goals, your genius zone, your aptitude. All of those things are going to come together and really define, what is that best overlap for the market you're going to serve, how you're going to serve them, and your pricing, all of the things that are going to be making up the cogs of your business. So to get there, we're going to start with a self-assessment. Now, you probably already have a pretty good feel for a lot of this, but I do encourage you to come in with an open mind. Just try to see where there might be room for you to learn either more about yourself, about the market, test some assumptions, whether that assumption is that the market is already saturated or that you know what people want, because oftentimes you'll be surprised. A lot of things we think we know, we might not know. And there might be opportunity in those questions and surprise answers. So that'll be tying into the market research. We'll talk about how to analyze what your competition is doing, not only to learn about what's working, but see where there might be opportunities for you to do better. Are there some common complaints? Are people looking for something else? Where can you step in, fill the gap, or just do better, right? We'll talk about alignment, how you, and again, your skills are going to help you to create this business of your dreams on your terms, right? Our goal here is not for you to create a job that you hate, right? Our goal here is for you to create an opportunity, a business for yourself that you love showing up to. So this is all about getting that foundation right. We'll talk about defining your target audience. So you know, again, who you want to talk to, and then you can get questions answered like, where are they? How do you talk to them? How do you, what is their language? Talking to realtors is going to be different than talking to a commercial developer. What is it that you need to know to appear knowledgeable, to be able to connect, to be able to offer your value? And then we'll do some experimenting. We'll make sure that what we think is going to work is actually going to work and get some real world feedback. That's kind of the fun part. Now, don't worry if it seems intimidating. Here to help you along the way. And I guarantee that you've got this. So I'll encourage you to take a moment here and to do some diving into these worksheets and, let me know what you find out. All right, let's go get them. Time for some goal setting. Now, I'm sure you have an idea of where you want to go, but we're going to get a little more granular. So let's talk a little bit about the process of goal setting. We're going to begin by defining the business goal. What is it exactly that you're trying to achieve? What gets measured gets managed. So we want to be crystal clear on that. And all of this, of course, is part of North Star. The goal of North Star, as this section, is to get you so pinpointed on where it is you want to go that we can reverse engineer how to get there. This is going to be valuable in a couple ways. First of all, if we know exactly where we're going and we reverse engineer that process, we're going to get there, right? Because you've written directions on precisely that outcome versus kind of a vague goal, which is like, I want to head north-ish, even being off track a little can put you in a completely different place. Also, along the way, there are going to be things that come up that are going to be tempting to also dive into, what we call shiny objects. So as other projects or even potential jobs come up, you're going to be able to evaluate that against this outcome metric of your North Star and decide, is that going to be getting me closer to my target or farther away? And then make a decision about whether it's worth your time, energy, opportunity cost to pursue that, or if you need to be staying on track. How far off is it going to take you, or is it going to be moving you closer to your goal? So these are all really important things. We'll talk about conducting market research so that we have an understanding of that and how it's going to help us, or what obstacles might need to be overcome to get you to the goal. What are the KPIs? What things need to be measured to know whether you're getting closer or farther away? We'll talk about developing a strategic plan. And this is a little different than a business plan. Business plan is what you take to the bank, which may have, a lot of interesting demographics and theoretical numbers. But your strategic plan is going to be built around that North Star, around that ultimate goal. And when we're employing a strategy, we're going to be able to be really precise, really intentional about the steps we are taking to get there. This is versus tactics, which are kind of just throwing spaghetti against the wall, seeing what works, but not having a consistent approach to achieve that outcome. Consistency is boring, but it's also part of what's going to get you to success. So boring, consistent steps in the right direction, at the right time, with the right message, that's the key to building this solid foundation and getting you where you're going as fast and efficiently as possible. All right. What are the milestones along the way? How are you going to know you're on track? And how do you celebrate that? What resources do you allocate? We've got time and money as resources. You also have your energy. Are you going to be spending your weekends prospecting one-to-one or look at ways to do one-to-many? Again, that can tie into your overarching strategy. Is there a team you're going to be working with? Again, that can be part of your resources. Are you spending your time editing, or is there someone who can help you with the video editing? Talking about marketing and sales strategies. We're going to have a plan, right? I want you to always know what to do next and systematize that as much as possible. So you're not reinventing the wheel every day. You're not scrambling to figure out what to post and where and when and what it should be. And is this a funny meme or whatnot? No, we're going to get you a solid strategy, put it on autopilot so that you can be harnessing the power of technology to do a lot of the work for you, to get you towards our ultimate goal, which is, of course, your omnipresence. We want you dominating the local market so everyone knows you are the pro to call in your niche. But we got to start somewhere, right? So let's talk about your strategy and your marketing plan. Again, talking about monitoring your progress and how you're going to be engaging with customers. Not only is social proof going to be really important for this process and tie into your marketing and sales, but it's going to be how you're going to be learning and refining your messaging, what you're delivering, how you're delivering it, so that, again, you can be moving towards being the absolute best in your area. We'll talk about how to evaluate and optimize, figure out what's working so we can do more of that. So then you can scale and expand. That's the fun part. We're also going to prepare for contingencies. You may have noticed the world's a little crazy right now, right? So we're going to have our plan A, but also a plan B. So you're not going to be caught flat-footed. Again, always going to know what to do next, even if plan A doesn't work out quite as we'd hoped. And stay compliant. Again, not only in the world of just drones and flying, but also in your business regulations, so that there are no surprises at the end of the year with any taxes, anything along those lines. That, again, you're building this business on a rock solid foundation for long-term success, building the business of your dreams. Now we talk about SMART goals. This delightful acronym is about creating specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals. If you haven't already heard of this before. Really, this is a framework for setting and achieving well-defined objectives. This is going to help you create your clear and actionable goals that are going to increase the likelihood of success, right? If you're not specific, if you don't know exactly where you're going, you're not going to know if you get there. Also, you won't be able to measure those metrics along the way, set milestones. You're not going to know if you're on track or not. With measurable, we want to make sure that, again, you can measure your efforts, measure your outcomes. If your goal is to succeed, that's a little less hard to know if you're achieving versus 10K a month, right? That's measurable. And if you learn that, hey, it takes me 10 phone calls to realtors to get X number of jobs at this price, then we can reverse engineer that and shift your efforts to get you that outcome. That's where things get really powerful. Achievable. It's going to be really discouraging if your goal is not achievable. And so this is going to be a really good litmus test to make sure that you're on the right track. You got to walk before you can run. And that's okay. We're building, again, a foundation, a rock solid foundation for continuous success, for consistent success, without having to just hope for, rely on luck or not know really what to do next. This is a system that we're putting into place to get you to your goal in a systematic way. Or relevant, just make sure that the things along the way make sense with the broader goal. And time bound, when you want to achieve this by. When you have that time-bound aspect, you're going to have a little more fire under your rear to get things done. I'm a huge fan of deadlines. This is going to keep you accountable to yourself and to your business. Again, if you're setting those goals for yourself and giving the deadline. So I hope that makes sense with SMART goals, and I'm excited to see what you set for yourself. Now, you probably came into this with an idea of who you want to serve. And now I'm going to be challenging you a little bit. If you are coming into this business building exercise with the idea that you'd like to do commercial real estate, construction progression, weddings, search and rescue, maybe a little bit of power line inspection, the whole gamut, let's take a quick time out and at least consider focusing on one singular niche, at least to get started, okay? Couple reasons. First of all, if you're new to drone services, that's going to allow you to become really good at one thing, right? Instead of being a jack of trades, you're going to be a master of one. Start by mastering one. Also, it's going to help you be known as that person, right? You want to be sure that you're speaking to a certain audience, that when someone says, I need my residential real estate promotional video done, that other realtors are like, I've got just the person for you. And I don't think it's going to be the person who's also, doing random solar inspections and, has found Fluffy last weekend in the park, So you want to be as precise as you want, as you're willing to be. And I know it's really hard. It's so tempting. There's so much opportunity out there, but let's start with at least just one, maybe two areas that you're going to specialize in and become known as that drone person, that drone pilot specializing before we start branching out. All right. Again, that's just my strong recommendation. So let's talk about what some of those options are. And then when we get into, that market research and looking at the competitiveness in your area, it's going to kind of all come together and hopefully have some areas pop out that are going to be a better fit for you. Again, with your aptitude, your experience, your competition, your particular market, your interests. Where are all of these things overlapping to find your perfect area of service? So I'm sure you're familiar with real estate photography and videography, construction site monitoring, agricultural crop inspection, surveying and mapping, infrastructure inspection, search and rescue, environmental monitoring, event coverage, drone training and certification, insurance and roof inspections. So a lot of different areas that could be, explored. And again, just consider which ones make most sense to you. Throughout this course, we're going to be using real estate quite a bit because I think that's the easiest place to get a foothold initially. But all of the principles throughout this, which come to creating systems in the business, setting your goals, and with marketing and packaging different things, they're all going to be applicable to whatever niche it is that you choose. So once you've got that niche, I look forward to hearing what it is and helping you nail it. All right. Welcome to competitive analysis. This is where we spy on our competitors and figure out how to beat them. Fun stuff. Now, this is a really crucial step because we want to understand the competitive landscape, which is going to be different for you, right? Depending on you, your location, geographically, your market, maybe even the season that you're getting started. We're going to be looking for opportunities for growth and also improvement. So here's a 5-step process. And I do encourage you to take time to go through the worksheet, make sure that you've, again, got this foundational work done so you don't have to do it again in the future, but you know exactly where it is you're building from. We're going to begin by identifying key competitors. And the best way to do that is really through Googling them, right? You're going to be looking at what it is, where they're presenting themselves, how they're presenting themselves, who they seem to be speaking to. Again, now that you know your niche, you're going to be able to see how it is that they're packaging things and looking for opportunities to do it better. Looking on different search engines here, again, you're going to find a lot of value in the bad reviews, right? What is it that people are not doing? How are you going to be the person who does that better? Are there complaints about timeliness of delivery, of turnaround time, of being booked out, of not having a comprehensive package, or perhaps just on customer service in general? Are they answering their phones? We're going to talk about this later in systems because we're going to have a system for you. But again, just keep your eye open for this. We're going to look at their websites and online presence. I think you're going to be surprised by a lot of this, by what level of competition there is. Your market might seem saturated, but when you start actually looking around, you may well find out that it's going to be really easy to shine. We're still in the gold rush days of staking your social real estate. All right. It may seem like it's not, but I promise it is. Most people are not doing things in a systematic, consistent, optimized way to show up online, and you're going to. So this is fun. We're going to analyze their social media and online marketing. Again, that messaging, the frequency, how are they doing things? How are they not doing things? What are their weaknesses? And we're going to perform a SWOT analysis, which is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats for your competitors. And then we're going to identify areas where you're going to differentiate yourself and also potential opportunities for growth. So now that we've got an idea of what we are doing, again, make sure you've got that worksheet. Next, we're going to look at some specific of these analyses, and so that you can build your own. And I look forward to hearing what you think of your area. Okay, welcome to the SWOT analysis. not the Mission Impossible type SWOT, but rather the strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats. So in here, I've taken a couple different local businesses, looked at their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And I encourage you to do the same. Really be paying attention to how well established these different businesses are, what their pricing is, how robust they are online, how do they present themselves, what do their websites look like, are they posting regularly? There's a lot that you can glean from being a human eye that we're also going to be integrating some different technology into, as far as, using a artificial eye, some AI, to make this job easier for you. But it's helpful just for you to poke around yourself too, to understand who the competitors are, because your brain is also valuable. Again, AI is awesome. We're going to be using it, but I want your eyes on this as well, okay? Because you're going to be the one out there. This is you in the physical world, your business going to be competing. And again, I think this is the fun part. So I just want to take a look here at some of these different businesses. You'll notice that, as I had mentioned earlier, right, we're still in the gold rush stage. There's so much space for you to stake your claim, do it right, so that you're going to have this long term. As the drone service industry is booming, we're still down here. So the more established you can make yourself right now the right way, the more it's going to pay dividends in the long term. This is really valuable real estate. You're here early. Congrats. Let's do it right. You can see here's another example of an established business. They've hardly got any reviews and they're not that great. This is not going to be the case for you. We're going to get you a lot of great reviews. Portland Drone, here's another established one. They've got good reviews. But look, they barely claimed this. They're not optimizing this space at all. Now we're going to get a little bit into the details and, more information about how Google works and how to position yourself, your business online, and optimize things so that you're showing up first. But I do want you to recognize that don't let it scare you off that other people are here first, because they're not doing a good job for the most part. So it's not going to take much for you to do pretty much the same amount of work, but do it in a better, more efficient way and just blow them out of the water. So there's a lot of opportunity here. Good times. So here are some more examples of just what it is that I noticed looking through these different businesses. Give you a little bit of inspiration. Who is their client base? Again, what kind of messaging are they using? What's their slogan? What is it that they don't do? That might be teaching you just as much as what they do. Probably a reason they're avoiding it. How is that online presence? Is there anything negative on social media? So this is, again, that process. Let's see, got a couple more here. What technology are they using? How are they, what emphasis are they putting on that? And, are they using, again, the language of their clients? So again, a lot of opportunity here. And I encourage you, dive on in and learn about who you're up against, and then share your takeaways. Now, why is it that you need an avatar? And no, it's not because you need more of a blue alien in your life. Instead, the avatar we're talking about today is that of a client. So basically, it's bringing into your mind your ideal client and their characteristics. This is going to help us in several different ways. It's going to help us get really targeted on our marketing message when you develop a buyer persona. You're going to understand your buyer's pain points, their preferences, what it is they want to hear, what it is they want to buy. And sometimes what they need is different than what they want, right? For example, if you think about the area of weight loss, people might think, they're going to respond to a message that's, help you lose weight in this specific amount of time, in specific amount of time per day, like lose 10 pounds in 3 weeks. The way they might need to do that is by building muscle and restricting calories. But what you're going to be promoting is going to be the weight loss not the way to get there, if that makes sense. So again, the more you understand these two different principles, the more you're going to understand, you don't need to be off in the technical details of I've got, this drone with these capabilities and this many pixels and all of that jazz. But instead, what is the outcome that this person wants? How can you speak to that? Because that's going to be what sells. That's going to be what creates the value. This is also going to help you be consistently branding. Be consistent in your branding. What is the tone you need to be using? How professional or non-professional? If you're, again, speaking with a certain niche of the industry versus, roofers versus solar, that's going to be a different marketing message, a different type of clientele. This is going to also help you increase your perceived value. Because again, if you're speaking directly to what it is they need, they're going to respond to you. An expert gets paid more than a generalist, right? You pay your dermatologist a lot more than you pay for Noxzema, right? Than a facial cleanser. So the more detailed and customized and knowledgeable you are, the more precisely you can serve a need, the better you're going to be reimbursed for that. Lowering your customer acquisition costs. Again, if you're targeting really precisely, then it's going to be a lot easier and actually a lot less expensive. If you know that your target market is going to be at a specific networking event, that's going to be a lot easier for you to speak to them directly than if you just go to the Saturday market and hope you find a couple of realtors in amongst there. Chamber of Commerce, going to be a lot more effective leverage than Saturday market. So thinking in those terms. Also, it's going to help you with the refining your service offerings. So again, you're really dialed in for what it is they want, what they value, going to help you increase your average order value and get more specialized. With relationships, again, if you're the person that they know is the expert, they're going to trust you more. The faster we can get to know, like, trust, the better off you're going to be as far as getting referrals, which of course are money in the bank, and also with commanding a premium price. And competitive advantage. When you really understand who it is you're serving, you're going to be different. You're going to stand out. You're going to be the expert, the person. You want to be known as that local, almost celebrity. The greatest hack to success is celebrity in this day and age. So if you can almost make yourself a mini celebrity by being the absolute best at this specific service in a specific niche, get that name recognition out there, then it's going to give you a huge advantage. Now, defining a perfect client avatar is important, and it takes a couple different steps. So if we take a step back for a moment and talk about those business goals, you can look at any current clients or prospective clients you've had in the past. Think about who they are, where they are, their age, their education, again, how they speak. Where are they in the community? What sort of clubs might they be in? Who are they? Let's see. What are the things that are keeping them up at night? In this market, if it's a realtor, is it about how to sell a house or how to get their next client? Because you can use that information for the way you're positioning your services. That may be that you're, instead of promoting your services as far as putting together a promotional video, instead of helping that to be helping sell a house, maybe you're positioning it to help that real estate agent look like the absolute specialist in their area, like a rock star, so that they're attracting other clients. So it can be the same essential service, but positioned in a different way to make more sense and create more value for the person you're talking to. But you got to know who they are, what's keeping them up at night, what's going on in the market before you can really dive into that. And their goals and desires. Again, what is it they're trying to accomplish and how can you help them get there? Well, their buying behavior. There are going to be challenges here too. If there's a lot of choice, how is it they're making those decisions? How can you make it easier for them to say yes to you? Well, what are your competitors doing or not doing? And then you're going to take all of this information and create a persona. Some people even recommend taking this so far as giving this person a name, Maybe cut out a picture, stick it on your wall so you know exactly who it is you're speaking to at all times. Now, that might seem a little extreme. And frankly, with all of the targeting options we have nowadays, through not only, if we are to go to Facebook ads or other online options, might be a little overkill, but there's also no downside to that. The more granular you are, the more you understand this person that you're trying to talk to, the more ideas you're going to have about how to speak to them, how to resonate with them, how to create value, how to help them, right? So I say go for it. Validate it with data. What are the trends in the market right now? Refine it, and then make sure it aligns with your business strategy. How can you help tailor your products, your services, everything to make sure that you're attracting these people? And again, that's going to be a bit of trial and error, but also asking for that feedback. As you get your feet wet, you're going to be learning. Okay, so don't be afraid to put out something imperfect to begin with, because newsflash, it's going to be imperfect. There's always going to be room for a new iteration, more precision, but you got to start somewhere. This process is going to help you start in the very best place that you possibly can to start that learning process. All right, so let's get out there and really figure out who you're talking to and how you can serve them. Now we're going to talk about the packages you're going to be providing, or your different offerings in your market. So this is going to really involve tailoring your offerings to meet the various needs and preferences to help people solve the problems that are keeping them up at night with your stellar packages, and make sure that you're just blowing your potential clients out of the water. So here is a step-by-step guide on how to do it. We've already started with the market research. Now let's talk about those service offerings. You should have a pretty good idea from the competitive analysis, as well as your own areas of interest, your aptitudes, the exploration you've done there, about what it is you want to offer. Then we'll talk about customization options. What are things that you can either vary, whether that's a larger package or adding things such as a video, if you also have photography packages. What also are you going to be allowing people to customize? And my recommendation here is to limit the number of options that can be kind of altered. Our goal is to get you to create at least 3 packages, probably just about 3, maybe 4, that you're going to be able to deliver with absolute clarity, with confidence, with precision, that you're going to be able to knock these services and packages out of the park every time you do them. Because down the road, and then, a few modules down, we're going to be talking about the processes to not only create these, but how to deliver them. Now, if you're offering basically a la carte or allowing a lot of customization, all of that planning and processes are going to go out the window. And that's where we're going to be getting into stress, right? Because if there are things that are not standardized, there are things that are probably going to be more inclined to get lost, whether that's in translation and you're not delivering what was communicated, or whether that's making sure you're including everything, or, and essentially the more streamlined we can make your processes, the more genius we can make them. So there's a lot of strength in creating a really great set of packages and sticking with those. If you know they're going to serve their needs, you don't need to go outside of the box. You know that the value is there. You can create your systems around it so that you can deliver with excellence and not reinvent the wheel every single time. So that's my recommendation. Pricing structure, again, same thing here. I would encourage you to be really standardized in your pricing, maybe a couple, an upsell here or downsell there, but don't allow a lot of room for wiggling or confusion. This is also going to help with your clients making decisions. You're a lot less likely to make a decision if you're overwhelmed by options. It's human psychology. So the more you can actually narrow it down, the easier it's going to be for your clients to say yes. So you're not doing yourself any favors if you offer 1,000,001 options. Keep it simple. And the best way to do this is through tiered packages. You can have your basic, your middle, your high, however you want to name them. You can create value in those different ways. And there are some strategies around that pricing that can help you kind of maximize the bang for your buck. So let's talk more about creating these packages. We've also got the features. What does that include in as far as deliverables? How much time you're putting into it? How much editing? What are the customization options? Again, I recommend you keep that minimal. What are the communications? What is it that you need to make sure is understood? What are the details of each level? How are you communicating that? How are you keeping people updated? Here, again, that power of if you have a standardized, set of packages, you can get standard in this language as well. So nothing's ever lost in the communication. And then you can also be consistently marketing and promoting that. Once you get that proof, you can reuse it. Let's take a look at some different options or samples. So we could have the basic, advanced, and bigger package. And again, you can see that they're very precise on scope and included services. Also, pricing. Let's see, this one does have starting, but you can take out the starting, right? You could just say $1,200 per project and go from there. So the more crystal clear it is, the easier it's going to be to sell. And when we're communicating on value and talking to your ideal client, it's going to be an easy yes. It's going to be a no-brainer, right? Because you're the person to deliver what they need. So I hope this is helpful for you, and I look forward to seeing what you come up with.